Hi everybody, my name is Dana Pond and today I got a beauty blender, so I thought I'd celebrate by doing a makeup tutorial on YouTube because it's something I wanted to do for a while. Anyway, I'm just going to be sharing my everyday makeup routine. It's just basic contouring and eyeshadow with brown hair, brown eyes, pretty straightforward. Almost all the products I use relatively affordable, you can get them at like a drug mart. And then we're going to finish it off with a nude lip in matte. It's from Sephora's Rouge line. It's ingenious and I love it. So when we're done, it should look something like this. And without further ado, let's get started. So right here, I've just washed and cleansed my face. I put on a moisturizer, and I'm about to apply my L'Oreal Paris Magic Lumi Light Infusing Primer. I like this because it makes my foundation go on nice and smooth, and it adds like a little bit of glitter in it, so it makes everything kind of shiny. I like the way that it reflects light. So I just apply that by putting it on my forehead, the tip of my nose, the top of my cheeks, and my chin, and blending it out. So now I'm about to apply my e.l.f. Mineral Eyeshadow Primer to my eyelids and under eye area, and I just kind of blend that out, and it helps hold the eyeshadow in place. I wouldn't recommend putting on eyeshadow without a primer. So now I'm just going to set that eyeshadow primer by using my Revlon Nearly Naked Pressed Powder. I use that in the shade 20 in Light, and I'm not really a stickler about what kind of brush to use, but you just put that across your eyelids and it gets a uniform tone before applying eyeshadow. So now it's time to apply foundation, and what I use is the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation, and I get that in the shade Ivory, but I also use Porcelain. And I just start by applying that to my cheeks, the tip of my nose, my forehead, and my chin, and then kind of working out from there. Now, this is probably the highlight of my day because I got to use my beauty blender for the first time ever, and I've wanted one of these for a long time. So generally what you're doing when you use them is you soak it in warm water and you squeeze it as dry as possible and use it to spread the foundation across the surface of your skin in as even a layer as possible. And I really love it, and I find that it absorbs way less foundation than any other sponge I use. Like, look at the coverage. So the strategy when you're spreading the foundation across your face is you want to start from your nose or your forehead and you want to work your way out from there. So now I'm just going to apply my highlighting cream, and I use Lancome Photogenic in the shade Ivory, and I apply that to the ridge of my nose, my under eye area, and my T-zone. You can also do the tip of your chin if you want. So now I'm going to grab my beauty blender again, and I'm going to use it to blend out that highlighting cream, starting from the center of my face and working my way out. I generally like to use small controlled strokes, and you don't want to press too hard, or you're just going to drag that foundation right off the surface of your skin. As I'm finishing up blending here, I just have to say one more time that I love this beauty blender. Like, look at how even that is. So now I'm about to start contouring, and I use the e.l.f. Moisturizing Foundation Stick, and I use that in the shade Almond. And what I do is I dab little dots across the top of my forehead, across the top of my cheeks, and along the sides of my face. I also put that on the inside of my cheeks, as you're about to see here. And that's just to give the illusion of length in my face. And I put it along the sides of the ridge of my nose and the bottom of my nose. Now I'm going to save you the trouble of watching me go through another beauty blender montage, but generally I just want to remind you that what you're doing is you're going to start from the center of your face and work your way out, or start from the front of your face and work your way back. So at this point I realized I wasn't quite getting the highlighting effect that I wanted from that Lancome product, so I decided to switch to my Rimmel London Hide the Blemish Concealer in the shade Ivory, and I just reapplied that to my under eye area. So after I'm done blending out the highlights again with my beauty blender, I switched to my eyebrows, and what I like to use is a double-ended pencil by Maybelline New York called Brow Satin. So what I do is I use small controlled strokes on the underneath of my eyebrow, and I blend that out with a brush. So once you're done defining those lines underneath your brows, you can switch to the other end of the pencil, which has a small sponge on it, and you can use that to blend that out and fill in your brow. Now, I think this is actually a really cool little pen, and I always start in my overnight bag so that I can do my makeup quickly and easily the next morning. Now we're about to do eyeshadow, and like I mentioned before, I have terrible brush etiquette, so I'm just going to use this one single Urban Decay Naked 3 brush. It's double-ended. One end is for eyeshadow and the other is for concealer. Now, generally when I'm doing eyeshadow, I just stick to this palette of 100 different shades that I got from Islip's Face, and I think it was like $10 online. It's not the best quality, but it's not the worst quality. But I definitely don't feel bad about it when I apply it too generously, or when I screw up and then I just have to redo my eyeshadow. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, but what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing my entire eye area with this shade of goldy yellow, and that just gets rid of any of the redness from plucking my eyebrows earlier. Now, I know that it seems like off-the-wall advice at first, but I am going to recommend that you use this green as well, and you're just going to use that as a tone-correcting color, so it's going to get rid of any of the redness, like eliminate any of the purpleness that you get from puffy eyes from like staying up too late the night before. Now, you don't actually want to use enough yellow or green that you have any lasting discoloration, just enough to correct the tone. And then in order to get back to a natural, totally natural eyelid shade, you just want to alternate between like a beige and a tan across the surface of your eyelids. I really don't know how well you can see it with this camera, but I'm using a shade of yellowy gold that also has a lot of glitter in it just to coat my eyelid pretty evenly, and I'm getting it in the crease as well, and I just apply that to both eyes. So after I'm done covering my eyelids with that shimmery gold, I switch to like this light shimmery brown, and I want to get that in my crease and I guess just up to my brow bone, but I'm careful enough not to get it on my eyelids. So after I filled in my crease with the dark color, what I like to do is go with a lighter color like a light beige and then work my way back in towards the crease just so it kind of looks like an even gradient. So I've got this multi-level magnetic brush from Sephora that I believe is used for travel. And what I'm going to be doing here is just using the brush specifically designed for your crease to spread a transition color. So just using that shade of red as a transition color, I start from the outer corner of my eye in my crease and I work my way in towards the inner corner of my eye. Careful not to get any on my lids. When you're done, it should look something like this. Now using a generic foam tip brush, I'm just going to use a chocolate brown and I'm going to blend from the outer corner of my eyes in the crease towards the inner corner. I'm also going to blend up and out towards the brow bone. So after I'm done that, I'm going to go in there with this shimmering honey color. Any glittery light brown should work. And I start in the inner corner of my eye and then I blend up and out just to soften that gradient. And all I can really say is blend, blend, blend. The best way that I can describe the blending techniques that I'm using right here, I guess first off is I'm sweeping away the excess powder from the areas where I don't want so much color, and then I'm going back into the crease and I'm tapping and blending my way out, diffusing that color so the line doesn't look so harsh and I get a more natural looking gradient. I promise that I'm not going in with any extra colors or shades that I haven't already mentioned. What I'm doing right here is I'm just working up and out from the crease and then I'm blending down and in from the brow bone, trying to make that gradient as smooth as possible so that there are absolutely no harsh lines. When you're done, it should look something like this. So I'm going to be using this shimmering tan color now, and I'm going to apply that evenly across both lids, and I'm just going to work my way up to the crease. It's not quite a cut crease, but it's certainly inspired by that type of makeup, and I'm just going to be using a dabbing motion from the outer corner towards the inner corner of my eye, and then working my way back out, and you can see me do that across both lids. So this right here is actually an e.l.f. Baked highlighting blush that I've been using as an eyeshadow lately. I really like using it to highlight the inner corner of my eye, as well as soften my brow bone, and kind of blend out the edges of the shadow so that it doesn't look so harsh. All in all, I find that it helps really give that fresh and awake feeling or look to my makeup. So right now I'm actually using an e.l.f. Baked highlighting powder in pure white, and unfortunately I can't show you because the pressed powder itself is cracked and broken and I'm just scooping it out of the lid, but I'm using that to highlight the outer ridges of my eye, just underneath my eyebrows. This step is actually kind of out of place, but I'm using my Revlon Colorstay Aqua Mineral Finishing Powder just to set my foundation. There's something weird or strange about this powder because it actually always feels cold and moist, and it's just really refreshing when you're finishing off your makeup. So right here I'm using my Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips Custom Eye Enhancing Eyeliner Trio for Brown Eyes Eyelining Pencil, that's a mouthful, to line my waterline as well as just use this as an eyeliner. Any brown cream-based eyeliner pencil will work. Next, I'm going to be going in with this Fine Point MAC brush, which is typically used for applying gel liners, and I'm going to be using that just to blend the eyeliner that we just put on and kind of make it look not so harsh. So we're going to finish off the eyes with the Maybelline New York Great Lash in Black is Black. I recently had my friend recommend this mascara to me, and I love it. It is the first mascara that I actually don't have a clumping problem with, and I'm going to be applying that to my top lash and my bottom lash. Now we're going to be going in with an Annabelle lip liner in the shade Buff because I absolutely love nude and natural looking lips. Maybe I'm just not that daring, but I never really do anything too dramatic with my lips. Generally when I'm applying lip liner, I start from the corners of my Cupid's bow and then I work my way out. And when you're applying lip liner to the bottom lip, you only want to do it on the very front. You don't want to go all the way to the corner or else it makes your mouth look too pursed. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is my absolute favorite color lipstick right now. It's from Sephora's Rouge line and the color is Ingenuous. Again, I'm just not that daring when it comes to lipstick, so I prefer the nudes and the natural colors, and this is basically the same color as my lips before I accidentally get foundation or concealer on them. So I've actually got this e.l.f. Eyebrow Lifter and Filler pencil, and using the lifter end of the pencil, I trace the outline of my lips, and then I go in with the contouring brush end of the Naked 3 brush that I have, and I trace the outline of my lips, and it just makes them look flawless. At this point, we're just going to finish off the entire look with a Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Blush in the shade Natural, and I like to apply that in a curved line from my dimples to basically the center of my ears. Hi everybody! So thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, comments, let me know how it worked out for you. Leave it in the comments below. And yeah, this is something that I would like to do again, so hopefully it catches on. Have a good night.